Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the return for the 13th of March 1942. So, things are going well enough. We are making progress now. We've started the radical overhaul. I like saying the word radical, but we have been overhauling things. We're trying to get things into a decent shape. And we're getting there. We are making progress, which is good news. So we have taken the space over here with the APDs, then moved on towards Ketapang. And what I'm going to do then is have them take control of all these bases in the area. We're not far out from the invasion of Java. What I'm doing as well is, if we take a look over here, we do have our KI-15 Babs. So they're running reconnaissance of Surabaya. That base I can't often pronounce. These guys are running Sinkawang, Injmas, and... Okay, well these guys are currently running reconnaissance, well sorry, training for the time being. Which makes sense. So they need to continue doing that. Yes, we are doing a lot of... This will be Infinite Monkey helping me out with the flight, sort of the pilot trained in here. But that's fine, they can let's see. They're not bad pilots at all, to be honest. I don't think the range is enough, and it's better to just... I'll just have them run naval search. Better that way. There we go. Yeah, so there we go here. Now, I'll put in a couple of reserves. Put in another one over here till we actually have. We are making a decent number of the Oscars now. We just need to actually get the squadrons, fill them out, and continue. So what we're going to do then is we are going to go ahead once more, and we're going to try to strike out this way. I've decreased the amount of them that will be striking, and increase the amount of fighters that will be escorting. So ideally we can try and hit those light cruisers. We only need to hit them once, that's the thing. More bombers would obviously assure a great chance of success. But then again, he's going to be aware of the situation now. Gotta take that into consideration. I don't have Palembang yet, so we don't have additional support there as of yet. So, not too far away. Issues I can't pressure Batavia and Surabaya, and these bases at the same time. I can pressure Surabaya, which I'm doing so. Could do more reserves here to be fair, but they're doing alright. A little bit of cap. You're in naval surge, you're in airfield attack. Yep, that's good. And just got to keep the pressure up over here, really, at Surabaya. Keep the pressure up over this way. If we can strike a shipping, that's going to worry him a little bit more too. I don't know where his carriers are at this moment in time, which is, as you would imagine, worrying. Moving the APs over here so we can actually pick up the headquarters and different units from Kandarai. Have them move over to Mexar, have them pick up the elements over there, then move towards Belapapna and Benjamarson. Okay, we did have a couple shot up over here by the coastal guns, well the actual defensive guns that they brought with them, but that's fine. We'll go and attack. It is 58 assault value, it should be enough to put an end to it. What I could do with doing then is taking these bases here. So if I take a look, what I'm going to do then is we'll pick up these units then. So need a larger troop load there. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so dock. Reallocate, yep, okay. Do that again, sorry. Yes, that's fine. I want you to go out, and I want you to secure these bases out here. So secure the entirety of Borneo. We're nearly there with that objective. Once we have secured the entirety of Borneo, things will be nice. Kuching is going to be one of those that we'll have to take, but it is going to be starving. He's probably not moved any supplies out that way. So what I'll do is I'll bring another naval guard there to make sure we take it with lesser losses. Okay. We're going to attack with another deliberate attack over here at Cagayan. It's going to be one of those of where, well, it's going to hurt, but we'll do it until we force him to collapse. And it's not too far from collapse. He's got to be low on supply. It's got to be there. It's not far away. He was moving in additional supplies. It shows the situation is desperate. We do have a few situations over here that we need to deal with and lose on. These guys are being mounted up. Those are big guns too. Very, very big guns. Right, they're loading up. Okay. Might not be able to load up. It's the size 2 though, so they should be okay. Okay. I mean, what we're probably going to do, we do have the base force moving down to Manila to help out with the actual VP. we're not too far from the fall of Singapore, and I know I've said that a few times. These regiments have been battered. They're not terrible, but they need to be reformed. Issues we have, this unit over here at Truck, which I need to get the hell out of Truck and actually move it to Malaya. And these are like little things that we've learned over this campaign that we didn't repeat in the Admiral Dadman campaign. That is chiefly don't have your forces spread out. So Nagato's in perfect condition once again. She's finally been repaired after the rather tumultuous battle some time ago there, really. Off of Bellap Islands. Okay. Get the APs here. Load of the actual regiment. We do have a 4th regiment as well here, as well as the... So we have 24, 4th and 144th regiments. It's a lot of force concentrated here, in fairness. Right, let's see. So you're part of 2nd Division, which is one of the most spread out ones in existence. Buna, Bauford, Truck, Gaian Truck, Singapore Truck, Singkawang, Belpap, and... it's insane. I think we'll have them taken back. 144th is, yeah, part of 55th, as we said. So we'll be able to reform that. Hang on a second. Ah, right, I see. And then finally, 4th Regiment. Yeah, okay. Well, what we'll do then is we'll get them all loaded up and get them shipped out to Malaya, etc. Okay. I do have the AMCs over here as well. Yeah, we have some really good ships for this sort of thing, really. Actually superior to the AMCs. We're probably fine with that, so let's go ahead and get them loaded up. Right, there we go. Mortars. See, the mortar battalions are intriguing. Tasha 25th Army. Will go in handy. Right, I'd like to get the artillery moving as well. Okay, place more ships in there. Okay. Right, that looks fine. So we'll get them moving out. I'll have them head to Bibaldo out for the time being. We can have them shared out from there. So there we go. Okay. Now, one of the actual decisions I've taken here, and it's not what I really would like to do, but the fuel situation just isn't right now. I mean, we have 44k units over here, which, okay, that's a nice amount. There is a little bit of fuel in these oilers. But in all honesty, it's not a lot of fuel. There's 0 fuel here. I think we do have some tankers that will be on their way. Well, they're on their way back. Right, so there's 15k units of fuel moving down there, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not for this sort of operation that we'd intend for with Fiji. So I'm making the decision here to have these elements head back to Truck. We need to find where they can be used right. And sometimes, if you can't use it right, it's not worthwhile using it, really. Because this is it. It might not cost us any casualties, there might not be any damage, but they are burning fuel. They're burning a lot of fuel. So once we're in a position where we do have more fuel available, and potentially actual location of the enemy carriers, then we will consider that operation again. But yeah, we need to get it sorted. The combined fleet's moving back towards Truck right now as well. What we're going to do then is really take a serious look at the situation and decide where we can make the biggest impact. Because right now, the historical gamers carriers could be potentially around this area. They could be elsewhere, but they seem to be around this area. That seems to be the suggestion. They're likely heading this way. Now, the thing is, we'll see. If we hold out a truck, we can repair our carriers, we can repair the actual ships over there. We could even have the actual aircraft transferred to the land bases in this area here. I mean, that's the beautiful thing here, and that's the thing he's going to find out as well, is this area can be defended by carriers without carriers even being present as such. And that will hurt him. We'll see. There's other operations perhaps in mind. We might want to prepare for like an invasion of the Lion Islands in the near future, but I think I really want to change the focus to the Dutch East Indies. We need to secure the Dutch East Indies really sooner. Well, we needed it like 2 months ago essentially. So we need to speed up this. I think potentially having forces on standby available for this could be very good. It might be that we change tactics perhaps. Change up really. And potentially consider pushing into the Indian Ocean perhaps. It's an intriguing one really. If we could defend New Guinea, New Caledonia, and the area in the Pacific, do we have the ability to free up our carriers in a big way? That's going to be the intriguing one. And this is it. Perhaps we do make a push towards Ceylon. Perhaps a push there to try and render the allies a little bit mute out that way. Much to be considered, really. Much to be considered. But I just think right now, it's a lot of fuel. It would use a lot of fuel to do that. It would be a nice operation, but I think it's one of those operations that we can still do. I'm just going to let him make the first mistake, if you get me. We'll let him decide what happens next, I suppose you could say. So we're still preparing over here. Okay, they're still naval attack. What I'm going to do is have them switched over to naval search. Lacking a bit of information on the area, so we'll change that. There we go. These guys still run heavy escorts. What I'm going to do is bring that down. Like so. Yeah, we'll need to be careful with the amount of fuel expenditure and supply expenditure that we have. It's not... it's something that's not sustainable forever, really. Okay. A couple of them are going to be out there for a week, which is not exactly ideal. What do I have here at Comac? 25 aviation, we need 20... Oh, sorry, we need 25, we have 24, so we're a little bit under. We are expanding the size of the airfield, so that will help, but I'd like to get more aviation support out that way. Okay. Just 2 squads ain't gonna do jack, to be honest. But it stops them from just landing there. Okay. Right. See, we have 86 aviation support here, which is very good. What we might do is split that unit up if we can. Okay. We'll tone down the actual amount. Yep, over here, which I've done so. These guys already resting significantly more, which is fine. We're still building up the airfields. It's not a terribly nasty area right now, but it will become much, much harder for him in the near future. We need to be in a position to be able to make that happen. And I don't want to have my... I mean, this is it. We don't know where his carriers are. I don't suspect that there's a carrier waiting out for us here, because I don't think he has opportunity. But I don't think I can justify that much fuel expenditure for something that, yes, it would hurt him, and it could destroy aircraft. But right now, it's hard to really justify it when we really get down to the brass tacks. We don't have the fuel, really, to throw away. It could be an effective operation, but the issue is we really need the ability to conquer these islands. I mean, perhaps we do go for a more limited operation in the near future, potentially using maybe fast battleships or heavy cruisers to bombard Pago. But yeah, it's one of these of like, we'll deal with that if we can. But right now we need to take on these other objectives. So it seems that, unfortunately, I had forgotten to take them off surface combat and put them on bombardment. So they'll bombard during the night. There's a risk that one of them may get torpedoed. There's a lot of submarines in the area, but we'll hope for the best. I mean, this might be shallow waters here. I'm not super sure there. We do have the Ki-48s over here, which are really doing a stupendously good job helping us out. Like, they've been really racking up the actual hits against the submarines over there. You can see they're really, really gaining experience. These guys are really quite cracked when it comes to this. Yeah, they do have a decent bomb load as well. But they're getting very good. Things as well, they have these 7.7s on the front. If they have some cannons as well, that'd be nice. Or like heavier HMGs, that sort of thing, that'd be nice too. But they're still doing a good job. But what I'm going to do here, I've got the Zeros running full cap over these guys here. We'll bombard, allow these supplies to build up once again. But what we're going to do then, excuse me, is continue to build up the area. I'm going to have engineers moved around, construction units moved around. I'm going to build up Boona as well. Get Boona established as a decent airbase. Port Moresby doesn't look to be that far from falling, to be honest. It's never going to repair. Yeah, it's just not going to repair. We still have 322 assault value here, and that does recover a little bit each time. We do have a lot of disabled here, but he's cracking. I don't know what his supply situation looks like, but if we keep up with the deliberate attacks, keep up the bombardments where we can, it is going to bring him to his knees. I don't know what his supply situation looks like. It's probably okay, I'd imagine, but he will be losing supply. I don't think it's terrible, but we're not too sure. We'll see. Okay. So I think regarding the MKB, I mean, this is one that I'm really pondering over. I think what we want to do then is, let's see. There's not a lot of damage on these ships over here. It might be that we bring them to these waters of the South China Sea to potentially move then into the Straits of Malacca and into the Indian Ocean, perhaps. Possibly. I'm half a mind as well. And this is it. I'm not really sure where they should be right now. I mean, there's no fuel here. There's no repair here either. So I think really what we're better off doing then is perhaps we do head towards Singapore. Once Singapore is cleared, we could potentially repair in Singapore and have their aircraft using them in the meantime. But we'll see there. Yeah, there's lots to be taken into consideration here. Their air power will be welcomed. Will definitely be welcomed. I would have to head to Hong Kong to really have them repaired. Unless we do go to Singapore. But I think we'll head out towards Singapore. I'll have them head towards Kottaburu for the time being. Obviously not really going to do that. I might take on fuel over here to Marie. And there's, I think this is it. It might be that we use them to... I mean, maybe I have them head to BLeAcHACiD instead, to be honest. So we have a size 4 port here. I think maybe we do bring them in to support the Java operation, really. We can rearm them, repair them, as we take Singapore, but I think their airframes will be quite welcomed. It is going to represent quite a market increase in the amount of power that we have in the area. One thing that I do want to do then is dive bombers. Yeah, they're running heavy amounts of ASW. Quite heavy amounts. I think we'll go for it. I think that's probably the best situation when I can use them. I mean, having those aircraft there And having the actual surface ships as well. Surface ships isn't so much a problem, but having those actual ships, those carriers in position, would really help us to secure Java. So I think at this point, we are behind schedule, and we really need to up that. Especially as our amphibious landing bonus will be ending in the near future. I can't remember exactly. It might be... I think it's very soon anyhow. I'm trying to recall when it does, but I know it's around this sort of time frame. Congo, 23 days from being finished here. Yeah, 23 days is about as good as it gets. We're going to have her join the so-called MKB then. Nah, it's going to be an intriguing one, really. I mean, what I'd be looking towards doing, because, I mean, this is it, there's a lot of shipping over here as well. I mean, maybe, I don't know, really. We could have her brought out this way, not into the coastal waters, because carriers do suffer there. Issues my actual, I mean, I could have the, yeah, this is it, I could have the actual aircraft flown over here to support operations, and we could try to sink all these ships in here, really. Not that it makes a tremendous difference at this point in time, to be honest. He still has the Burma Road, but he's lost a lot of positions in China. And the issue is, yes, he's gaining 500 supply a day. Well, there's a lot of supply being burnt, and he's also lost of he's lost quite a few centres where supply is produced, so we're still pressuring him as well. So we'll see. We'll see. I think towards BLeAcHACiD for the time being, then. Who knows what we do with the other carrier group? It might be best to potentially keep them available. The difficulty as well is because we wanted to move out this way and hunt down enemy shipping, and maybe that is what we do. Maybe we do it this way this time, and find the way in there. We saw what happened. We saw shipping leaving, so we know there is shipping in this area. Yeah. It might be worthwhile moving out here then to secure these islands, and really trying to hound out shipping in this area. If he brings his carriers around here, I want to be in a position where... And this is it, I really do hope he keeps his carriers as one group. If he keeps his carriers as one group, then we can work with that infinitely. He will eventually break his carriers up, he's got to get to that point, but if we can keep him in a position where he feels he's best served by having his carriers united, that's good. Because we can have our carriers work as two groups, like over here and then over here. The good news is that, well, this is it, there will eventually be carriers out here, but they're not right now. They're not going to be in terribly large amounts of strength. So we do have a decent amount of time to really try and secure this area here, and that's what we want to do there. We've got to be really quite realistic. These islands I would like to secure. It might be that after Port Moresby has fallen and been secured, and New Guinea ideally secured as well, it's potentially our pushes to take these islands down here. Maybe that is the next step in our realistic plans. Aye, possibly so. I'm going to try and keep it short range, keep it achievable, try and do it within range of other bases if we can, really. Something I've done as well is... the H6K4s over here, what I've done is split them up, given them plenty of reserves, but we do have a group now, small groups, only two of them, at Midway, Wake, and then we're also operating out from Roynema, so it just gives us decent coverage in this area. We haven't seen anything, but that doesn't mean that nothing is coming. But I really didn't have much coverage here in the centre. We've got to be aware of that. Our coverage is pretty decent around this area. But we've got to be aware. I think we're looking good for a future operation in the very, very near future against the Aleutian Islands. We have a Naval Guard unit here, which is good. What we're going to do then is have them actually plan for Dutch Harbour. Dutch Harbour would be a nice one to secure there. It's very close, it's very audacious, but it could be done. And it could be done quite brutally. So that might be a position where additional carriers actually do head. This is it. There's a lot of things that are really on the line right now as to what's going on. We need certain operations to succeed and be done so we can move forces elsewhere. Okay. Have them dock and take on fuel. Get that fuel the hell out of here. Okay. Marie is going to be one of those where we're going to have to repair in the near future. Quite a lot there that's broken. Oh no, actually, yes, there is quite a lot broken there. Just not exactly ideal. Ideally, can take Palembang. We're moving these forces in. They're moving in absolute. They'll arrive during the day. They'll be covered by key 43s. They do have a cover of the heavy cruisers and destroyers. They also do have 3 light cruisers in there, a bunch of torpedo boats, and a bunch of patrol boats. Ideally, that's enough. There likely will be some losses here. But if you had submarines in here, then we can deal with submarines in the river. They definitely are at a disadvantage there. They can definitely hurt, but they're at a disadvantage for reprisals. But yeah. He's likely got PT boats here, nothing larger, and they can be dealt with. But we'll attack. So ideally they'll land in time to actually support an attack at Palembang, and ideally that will secure us Palembang today. But there we go. So that is roughly what's going on. If you wonder what that noise is, I've got some dice in my hand. I was trying to like figure out how I could put them down without making a big noise. But there we go. Couldn't do it. I was actually building a Pathfinder 2 character before this. And I thought, you know what? Let's get the turn done, and then I'll build a Pathfinder 2 character. Priorities right. And so thank you very much for that, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Oh, China, by the way, I haven't talked much about China. We are moving our forces to chase the defeated from Nanyang. He still has forces over here as well. Moving the divisions this way, moving the divisions this way. We're going to take a stock and see what we have. I would like to put a big focus upon Xi'an. This doesn't really gain me much. I mean, yes, there is industry over here that I would like to take. That'd be good there. Secure another 82 supply generation. Make that 93 supply generation. That would be nice. That's decent. And we can go for that. He is weak in this area. He still has a lot of troops over here. We have more divisions that have been made available to head down here. But right now, I want to really push on Xi'an. That one's going to be great. That's the one where we really do hurt him. But it's not so much... I mean, what I'd like to do is actually give him the impression that I'm moving in towards chunking. But I really want to move towards these bases over here. Like Langchao. Chao. That'd be really great. Oil, refineries, well, industry. Yeah, resources out here. There's a lot of good stuff out here that could be potentially taken. The issue is, if that's taken, he's not really going to have the ability to take it back. Not for a long time. It's just not suited to that. But what we want to do is we want to really confine the Chinese into this pocket here, into this basin. If we can do that, we'll be good to go. And there we go. So thank you for watching then, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Tena Haika Banzai. And if you've enjoyed this, please do subscribe. Goodbye for now. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to my viewers. See you in the next episode.